And I'm always worried that people don't really, might be a little bit confused about what custody even meant back in the day. And I think that's why we in Canada changed it in the Divorce Act, that custody is gone now. So can you talk a little bit about what custody was and what we talk about now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good point, Evan, because I think it was a little bit confusing sometimes. Custody was sort of a blanket term that would talk about the time and the decision-making rights. It, so maybe it's easier to contrast it with what parenting time and decision making is, and then understand that custody sort of referred to all of that together, and would be parsed out. So parenting time is kind of what it sounds like. It's the schedule that parents and children follow for when they're spending time with their kids. And that can be, an exchange every second day. It can be a week on, week off. It might be weekdays with one parent, weekends with the other. Maybe it's school year with one parent and the summer with the other parent. It can be as, flexible and different as there are families out there. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about parenting time, the actual schedule that you would, write down on the calendar for everyone to follow. Decision making is all the other stuff that would sound like to you, all the major things that have to be decided for kiddos, big picture, and right down to the fine points of things. So what are they eating for breakfast, to what school are they going to go to, which church will they attend, who are they hanging out with, are they allowed to get a job when they're 14, when they're 16, can they date, are they getting orthodontics, you name it, all of those parenting decisions need to be made. And sometimes we set out a decision-making process for them. Sometimes we divide up those powers. Sometimes we share them. Just really depends. So those are the two broad categories. Under the old Divorce Act, we just sort of talked about custody and then talked about primary care or parenting time. We would talk about having custody, and that was more of the sort of decision-making thing, but it got really blurry a lot of the time and was pretty confusing. So I think the attempt now is to really parse out those two things and make them distinct so that we're talking about things really clearly in our orders, in our agreements, and when we're talking to families and to parents.